Okay, everybody, this is Sunwave. Everybody needs to stop overloading their RTL-SDRs when you're running an active loop antenna. I've seen so many times that people will have artifacts from internal noise mixing in the RTL-SDRs. I got mine connected, and as you see, that when I disconnect the antenna, now, that's the baseline noise floor around, what does it say, about 80 dBFS. I can even get it to show up on here. Now that's pretty high. I connect the antenna up. You should get signals right out the bat there from the K180-WLA active loop. As you can see, we got a signal down here on 115, and I have very low RF gains at 3.7 dB, so I'm going to increase this, and you see that internal mixing, the artifacts start to show up right there. Watch as I move that slider and watch the waterfall, how them lines disappear until see the lines right here that come up. And then I go back the other way, they disappear. You're supposed to have a controlled waterfall here. Everything should be clean as possible. And the MLA 30 and the K1W, excuse me, the MLA 30 and the MLA 30 Plus and the K180-WLA, they have between 20 to 30 dB gain already being shoved down the coax down the RTL-SDR's throat. And them things, that device cannot handle a whole lot of signal by itself. You know, it's just an overload artifact. It'll artifact all over the place and overload and start ghosting signals, and I mean, you just can't have that on HF. HF is pretty sensitive to things like that, especially when you have noise in your local vicinity. Now, if you can't hear signals, well, I'm just going to turn it up. I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to turn it up so I can get some signals. I'm going to turn it up so I can get some signals. And I'll say, okay, well, I got signals, all right, but I also got trash. Right up around here, that's trash. That switching power supply trash, that's outside the antenna. I already done establish that fact. That's not in the RTL-SDR. It's coming from some other electronics in the building I can't track. So that's the CV band. It gets worse down here in 20 meters. Yeah. Terrible artifacting. This combing effect of these vertical lines, see if we can make those disappear, or try to, or attempt to. They're still there at very low RF gain, but it's cleaner, and you still see signals, but you don't want to overdo it. There's these three stations right here in the 22 meter broadcast band will start to artifact over in here or over here or both sides. So I'm going to increase my RF gain here. Alright, that's about as much as you want to do it. See that when it jumped? That was a big jump right there. It's saying, hey, we're going into overload territory. That's a big jump. And the intensity of the waterfall, the brightness of the waterfall, just one segment of RF gain was major. Just one segment. I still got signals. 500 hertz is where I want it. Let's see what they sound like.
Yes, sir. You do this fine. Go ahead.
I mean, that's hard. It's hard to hear. Even at that low RF gain.
Yes, you heard that. You're up and down. Not command is very good.
Okay, let me plug in my other SDR. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. We just swapped the source radio to the AirSpy HF Plus series, and it's recognized it. And we add attenuation. We press play. Well, we're on 20 meters. There's a night and day difference. I actually have to turn this up now to see anything. And we still have the combing effect, of course. That's naturally going to happen. But it's got a lot lower noise floor. Of course, I'm on the K180-WLA, and it's amplifying right now. And we hear the difference. On this frequency, we heard it on the RTL-SDR. Let's see how much fuller it is now.
You'll get warmer than that when summer goes along, won't you?
That very weak signal that you could barely even hear, you would have missed that on the RTL-SDR.
Well, all right then. Have no traffic. Well, thank you for being out there for us and for picking me up over. I'm using an ICOM 7300, and the amplifier is an ACOM 1 putting out hello radio 1100 watts.
So we go up to the CB band. The noise floor goes even lower, so we can add attenuation because the K180-WLA is weaker than 27 megahertz. So this is the AirSpy HF Plus Discovery. It's it cost 3.1 times as much as the RTL-SDR version 4 and the version 3. But it's a performer. It is a very good performer, and it's good for you RF gainers that love to RF gain the piss out of everything. If you want to RF gain the piss out of everything, use this kind of an SDR or an RSP on A, 1B, a DX, or a Duo. Them kind of you can add a little bit of RF gain to those. Those things are pretty resilient. But the AirSpy series, you can RF gain the piss out of them. So. But you still get overload, but not near as bad as the RTL-SDR. So quit overloading your RTL-SDRs. I mean, that's a lot of. I see some people complaining about they're getting these weird signals and stuff, and that's artifact mixing and from internal noise mixing. It's just a no-brainer. You know, save your pennies. I used to be the one to say, I ain't got the budget for it, and I actually still don't. I saved the pennies up to where I can go out and get one, and not have to worry about it no more. Take good care of it, it'll take good care of you. I mean, RTL-SDRs are beginners, okay? Beginner SDRs, they're not for the long term. Because in the long term, you're going to be upset because you're not getting the performance that you really need, and and people do grow out of things, and you'll eventually say, I need something a little bit more than this. I mean, this is good while it lasted, but it's not enough anymore. I need a little bit more, a bit depth, and more dynamic range, and a lower noise floor. So I hear those weaker signals, and the beginners don't understand that yet. And the SDRs, the better the SNR, the better the dynamic range is correlated with the bit depth of the ADC, the analog to digital converter. 8 bits is just very rough. It's very coarse. You're not getting the finer grade detail. You only getting strong medium to strong signals. The weak signals, you can hear them, but they get covered up by internal junk. And RTL-SDRs, they don't have very good filtering in them. Not even a version 4. I don't consider that satisfactory at all. You know, because I've been playing around with these air spies and RSPs for so long. I just don't touch the version 4 very much. So thank you for listening to my banter there. And we'll talk to you later. Sunwave out.